Earlier, someone asked me what my favorite part of Algebra 1 was. And I said, well, it's probably adding and subtracting rational expressions. So you're in luck, because I'm very passionate about this one, okay? Now, I tried to teach this earlier today, but I actually ran into a bit of a problem. Take a look at what happened.
So I said, let's do some math. And he was like, algebra or pre-algebra? Oh. Crazy, right? But here I am. I think now this will work out. So you ready to get at it? Okay, here we go. Oh my gosh. Adding expressions with like denominators. We know how to do that with like normal fractions, right? If they have the same denominator, you just add the numerators together. So this says 4 over 3y plus 7 over 3y. The denominator is both 3y. So just like regular fractions, you keep the denominator. You don't change that. You keep it the same. 3y. And then we just add the numerators. I got 4 plus 7. 4 plus 7 is 11. That's right. So, and then check and see if you can simplify any of that. Anything going to 11 and 3 except for 1? No. So that would be your final answer there. Pretty easy. Pretty easy. Okay. This one, ooh, a little more complicated, but both of their denominators are x minus 2. So again, we can just add the numerators. We've already got the common denominator. So 3x plus x, or 3x plus 1x, is how many x's? 4 x's. So we got 4x over the denominator, x minus 2. Can we simplify any of that? Nah, player. So that'll be it. Let's get to some nasty ones, okay? Okay. Already way worse. Now we're going to be subtracting them, but they have the same denominator, so it's still not bad. But I had this teacher named Mr. Vols. He was the best, and he would always say, subtraction is just like adding the opposite. So he would take every minus sign, and he would make it plus negative. So if you want, you can do that to the numerator. Sure. So it's like plus negative whatever's inside here. Or essentially what you're doing is making everything after that minus sign the opposite. So what you can do is you can rewrite that as negative 4x and negative 3. Right now it's 4x plus 3. So that's what I usually do. So here's my first numerator, 7x plus 5 over 3x squared minus x minus 2, which we will be factoring in a moment's time. And then we're going to make it plus the opposite. So now it's going to be negative 4x on top, and it's going to be negative 3 on top. Same denominator, 3x squared minus x minus 2. Now they have the same denominator, so we can just work on the numerators. If you look, there's some common terms, some like terms in the numerator. I have 7x minus 4x. 7x minus 4x. What? Oh yeah, 3x. I said something different there. 3x. And then I got 5 minus 3. 2. Now the denominator, 3x squared minus x minus 2. Very factorable. You should always check to see if you can factor it, because maybe you might be able to simplify some stuff even further. So remember, when you have these trinomials and there's a number in the a spot in front of the x squared, we multiply the first and last term. 3 times negative 2 is negative 6. We have to make factors of negative 6 add up to negative 1. So that could be negative 3 and positive 2. So x minus 3, x plus 2. And then we tried to divide those by the number, by the a, which is in this case 3. Now this one we could do. 3 divided by 3 is 1. And this one you can't do. So we took that 3 and we scooched it to the front, and it became 3x plus 2. So that's what the denominator is in factored form. So let me rewrite that for a second. Numerator, 3x plus 2. Denominator, we've got x minus 1 and 3x 3x plus 2. You see anything crazy there? Boo! Boo! They're both the same. Now, this is all one group, that 3x plus 2. So if you have the same groups in the numerator and denominator, you can cancel them out. So all I've got left is x minus 1 on the bottom. Now you can put it in parentheses or not, I don't care. But we got to put a place filler on the top in the numerator, so we always put 1. And that is in simplest form. That was wild. That was crazy, so take your time, okay? Oh, no, now they don't have the same denominator. This one's 6x, that one's 2x squared. So we gotta find a common denominator. You can always force them to have the same denominator. Just like with, if you were doing 1/4 plus 1/3, you can get them both to the same number, but you just, if you multiply one part of the fraction, I think I just said fart, you also have to multiply the other part of the fraction. So think of 6 and 2. What can they both go into? Sure, they can go into 12. I heard you say that. But they can also just go into 6, right? So what do you have to multiply 2 by to get to 6? 3. So we're gonna have to hit this with a 3 and that with a 3. They both need to have at least x to the second power. Now this one's already got it. This one does not, it just has x. So we need another x. So we're gonna multiply this by x in the numerator and the denominator. So now the numerator, 5 times x is 5x. Denominator, 6x times x is 6x squared. Over here, 3 times 3 is 9. 2x squared times 3 is 6x squared. Now they're the same denominators, so we can just add them together. Numerators, I got 5x plus 9. Unlike terms, so we just leave them separate. 5x plus 9. Denominators are both 6x squared. You're going to want to check and see if you can factor anything. Maybe you could take out a greatest common factor and then simplify that with the denominator. That works. But this one does not have anything else that we can do to it. Sound good? You could also, remember, we could have used 12x squared. You could have technically used 72x to the 100th power. But if you can find the least common denominator, that's less simplifying you have to do later. This one terrifies me to my core. 3 over d minus 1 minus 2 over d plus 2. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change that subtraction sign. I want to make this plus, and then I'll just make it -2 in the numerator. So, look at these denominators. This one's got d minus 1, this one's got d plus 2. So we can make them both have the d minus 1 and the d plus 2. Check it. This one's got d minus 1, but it's missing d plus 2. So all we have to do is multiply the numerator and denominator by what we're missing, d plus 2. Cool, let's journey on over to this fraction. It's got the d plus 2 down there, but it needs the d minus 1. So we can multiply numerator and denominator by d minus 1. So if we do this, d plus 2 times 3, 3 times d is 3d, 3 times 2 is 6. Our denominator is d plus 2 times d minus 1. And I'm going to leave that in factored form until the end, and then maybe I want to FOIL it out. I don't really want to, but your teacher might want you to. Then we've got plus -2 times d is -2d, and -2 times -1, positive 2. Our denominator again is d plus 2 times d minus 1. Do they have the same denominator now? Yeah, they do. So, let's do it then. Combine our like terms. 3d minus 2d, or plus -2d, is just d. We've got 6 plus 2, 8. Now check, is there anything that we can simplify there? D plus 8 is its own group, so we would need a D plus 8 in the denominator if we wanted to cancel that out, which we can't. But sometimes you'll have something there that, and you can cancel out. Not there though. So that would be our final answer. Shweti? Okay. Aw, I'm sad to say that's it. I'll see you on the next one. We're going to be doing some equations next. Huh?